Hi, I'm John, and this is a couple filter pedals that I've built. The first one is the Crying Time. This is an LFO wah, and I based it off of DeadAstronaut's Lightwah. This is just the LFO section, and I redid the dry path to get a little more transparency and treble. I found the original circuit to be a little dark, which was nice for high gain playing, but I'm not a high gain guy. I also added a ramp switch to it, which kind of changes the way they I thought it made it sound a little more how some people use a wah in a particular song. So it goes from a softened triangle wave in the middle. It sounds a little bit like a sine wave, but it's an optical effect, so you can't get a true sine wave. Up is a ramp down, so it spikes at the beginning and then drops off. And down is a ramp up, so it kind of eases into a spike and then drops off again. And over here is a Little Ducky. This is based directly off of Homewrecker's or Runoff Groove's Nurse Quacky, which was based on the AMZ Dr. Quack, which in turn is derived from the EHX Dr. Q. And I moved the attack knob inside with a trim pot just to make it a little cleaner on the front. And because I didn't really find the attack knob to be incredibly useful, I just sort of eased it off a little bit from the stock setting. The range is the range at which it filters the effect. It's the range at which it does the filtering effect. So that's going to react pretty much in a very limited range for each guitar. And I've set it up to where it sounds best with my guitar. And the sense knob is the sensitivity that controls how much signal you need to trigger the actual envelope to get the wah effect out of it. And I'm using my Quixotecaster. Here's my dry signal. Here's the crying time. I've left the depth all the way up just because that gives me the most amount of sweep, and the speed is just sort of 2/3 of the way up, about 1 o'clock. All the way down, I'll give you really, really slow. And I'll flip on the ramp switch. The ramp's going to be most noticeable around halfway on the speed knob. If you turn the speed up too much, you just won't notice the ramp. And again, this one's the one that spikes at the beginning and then drops off. Here's the ramp ups. So yeah, the biggest change you'll find between the ramps, sometimes it can be hard to tell whether it's ramping up or ramping down on any given thing, but the biggest change you'll note is what point in the sweep the spike happens. So when it's ramping up, the spike happens in a different part of the wah's sweep than when it's ramping down. So here's back to the stock setting, and I'll just switch between them real quickly. And it also kind of changes the way the waveform sounds. So that's the Crying Time, and if you're interested in this one, I posted a pretty extensive build report and along with the DIY layout and schematic on the Madbean forums in the member projects section, and also I posted my layout in DeadAstronaut's thread on DIY stop boxes. So let's give the envelope filter a shot, and like I said, I've already set it up to what I think is the best setting with my guitar. Move the range around a little bit. But as you start getting out of the best setting for your guitar, you just sort of, you either get a just tonal change, so down is going to sound darker. Down's still lying a lot. That's going to sound more like you've just left your wah heel down as opposed to. And all the way up, it's going to sound more like a whoosh in the background. And since I've got them both here, I'm going to run them both at the same time, because this sounds pretty crazy. So yeah, you can actually use a tremolo or a volume pedal too to trigger an envelope filter, which I've always found to be a pretty neat trick. I kind of liked running both of them at the same time though to get a really extreme effect, which is, I was building them both at the same time, and I considered putting them in the same box because the circuit boards are really tiny, but I just like the idea of doing different art better. I do want to do one more thing. I'm going to turn off the compressor for the envelope filter, just to switch back and forth between those two. And with the compressor back on. So that's just a really quick way to show that if you've never used an envelope filter before, you should give some consideration to where it falls in the signal chain. You can get a completely different reaction running it after a high gain overdrive pedal of some sort than you can running it first in your chain like most people put the wah. So again, if you're interested in this one, go check out Runoff Groove, and it's on their Homewrecker sub-site. It's called the Nurse Quacky. And if you want the layout, just let me know. I'll try to post it somewhere. And I think I might have already posted it on DIY stop boxes. And over here, this one, you can get the layout on DIY stop boxes in DeadAstronaut's thread for the Lightwah, and also on Madbean's forum in the member projects section. I've posted the schematic and layout there. So I hope you've enjoyed the demos, and I certainly enjoyed learning a little bit more about filter effects building these two small circuits. So thanks for watching.